Hi, I'm Raju Mehta of Paseo Jewelers. Ladies and gentlemen, for this good evening, we are going to welcome you to 12th Rick Espinoza Distinguished Service Officer Award. From here, the person who's going to pick it up, he needs no introduction. He is going to be our MC, and he is the weatherman for Channel 2 Patrick Evan. Please come down. Thank you.
Thank you.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, welcome to our Espinoza Awards. I've been delighted to be involved with this for the last several years. Raju, as always, and Jayshree have invited me to be a part of it. And this is a very special evening for El Paseo Jewelers, but also for our community and for law enforcement in the community. The award was named for Sergeant Rick Espinoza, who had worked a robbery here at El Paseo Jewelers and became very close with Raju and Jayshree. And then over the course of time, a couple of years after that happened, Sergeant Espinoza was working in Operation Falling Sun, and he was severely injured when he was attempting to stop a suspect. And when he recovered from that injury, Raju, of course, and Jayshree followed that very closely. They checked in on him, and then they discovered that he was not only recovering, but going to go back on the force. And they were just amazed at his dedication to the community and to the service. And so they created this award in his name to honor fellow officers each year who have gone above and beyond in the course of their duty to law enforcement and to the communities that they protect. And I'm just delighted to be here. I want to tell you first and foremost, obviously it's a streaming event this year. So for those of you watching at home, we appreciate that. We've gone to great caution and great length to make this a COVID safe event. For those of you who do not know, Raju and Jayshree both contracted COVID early on and have recovered. So we're very mindful of that. There is a small group of people here, but that's why we made the entire event virtual. And we're taking all the precautions as necessary to keep everybody safe. But we also felt that it was very important to continue this tradition of honoring officers who, again, have put their lives on the line to protect our communities. And the honoree this year is Corporal Ruben Perez, and you're going to find out more about his story as the evening progresses. But it is very much my pleasure to introduce to you the gentleman for whom this award was named. I've met him several years running here at the awards, but we've not had an opportunity to have him speak and tell a bit of his story. And so I would like you now to please welcome and recognize Rick Espinoza.
Good evening, everyone. I think I've met just about everyone here over the years, but for those that have not met me, Rick Espinoza, thank you for coming out to celebrate this year's recipient, Corporal Ruben Perez. I also want to take this time to express my gratitude to Raj and his wife, Jayshree, and their beautiful daughters for honoring me all these years. I'm truly grateful and humbled to have this award in my name. Thank you again, my friends. Every year, my wife, Martha, and I come to this award ceremony, and every year, we're reminded how blessed we are to still be together, to watch our family grow, to enjoy our friends and their successes, and even to bear witness to those times in our lives when we lose people we love. This year was particularly tough as we lost an aunt, an uncle, and my father, but the circle of life continues. This year, Martha and I have received one granddaughter into our family and are currently expecting a grandson and another granddaughter, with God's blessings by the end of the year. Thank you. As I stated already, I've attended just about every award ceremony put together by Raj and Jayshree, and have had the honor of listening to Jayshree speak of her experiences in her youth back in her home country. I've listened to the feelings of despair and fear and could never imagine having to live with those feelings so prevalent in my day-to-day life as she did. I've heard Jayshree praise law enforcement and how much safer she feels here, and it makes me proud with the career I chose to follow. With the current political and social views, not all, but quite a few of law enforcement being negative, I often get asked if I still want to do the job, and my answer is always yes. My follow-up response is always, if not me, then who? If not him or her, then who? I believe the vast majority of law enforcement does the right thing because it's the right thing to do. ensuring law and order. Just over 20 years ago, I took an oath to protect and serve, and so did Ruben when he was sworn in as a deputy sheriff. And I know that we both will honor that oath even when we're no longer working in his career, because it's a way of life. Like all of you, I've come to know the details of the horrible day that Ruben was placed in the position that he was in. I cannot ever say I know what he felt, nor what I assumed to, but what I can say without a doubt is I know what he went through was horrible. Sorry. We are trained to be vigilant because even though we are here to help, the dark reality is that it's possible someone may try to hurt you at any given moment when you're wearing that uniform. Ruben, thank you for honoring your oath and being selfless and thinking of others even when you were in pain. To his wife, Mariela, I'm sorry you had to go through what you did. Martha and I can sympathize with you and what you must have been feeling when you got that call. The families of those that go through something like this have a large burden to carry, even after the initial craziness that follows such an event. It comes back to haunt you every once in a while, but spouses of law enforcement officers are just as strong as their spouses. Thank you and God bless you. Thank you all for coming out to share this experience and joining us on this live stream with Ruben. And once again, thank you, Raj and Jay Street, for all these wonderful memories year after year. Thank you.
Thank you, Sergeant Espinoza. We appreciate those words. And it is true, we've seen a lot of focus on a lot of the negatives in our community during the recent civil unrest, but it is great to be here together tonight to honor an exemplary officer who put his life on the line. And we have a number of law enforcement individuals in the room who do the same thing every day and have taken that same oath. And it's a privilege to be here and to be a part of this. Right now, I have the pleasure of introducing to you a council member from right here in the city of Palm Desert, someone I've known as a friend for many years. Would you please welcome to the microphone the Honorable Jan Harnick.
Thank you so much, and I've had the great honor to be here at this event, and COVID wouldn't stop this event. And I've been here so many years, and I will tell you, let's start here, that having a community partner like Jayshree and like Raju is a tremendous asset in our city, in Palm Desert. And speaking for Palm Desert, we thank you for all you do, and we thank you for recognizing the fine men and women who protect our community. And you heard a little bit about, right now we're going through tough times. And we hear things and people express feelings about police that here in Palm Desert, we don't agree with. They're ready, they're vigilant, they protect us, and we appreciate everything they do for us. And thank you so much, Corporal. We really appreciate what you've done for us. And I have to tell you, I've been on a few ride-alongs, and I watch the police, our sheriff, as they do whatever they can to diffuse a situation, to bring peace to a situation that could really escalate. And I've watched them perform amazing feats to diffuse something that was escalated at such a point, you're not sure what's going to happen. And I'm sure that that day, when the corporal got out of his car, that's exactly what he intended to do, was diffuse the situation. And that day, it didn't turn out that way for him. So we thank you for being everything you are, for being strong, for protecting our communities, and we appreciate it. So on behalf of all of Palm Desert, thank you all for what you do for us, keeping us safe, being out in front, being proactive, and preventing issues, not just solving them later. So we appreciate everything you do. Thank you so much. Thank you.
Thank you, Councilmember Harnick. Right now, it is my pleasure to introduce you. We were hoping that the sheriff, Chad Bianco, could be here, but he is not feeling well. He's under the weather. And this is a bad weekend to be that because it's going to get rainy and cold. But we wish him a quick recovery. But we are very pleased to have Chief Matthew Jimenez here, and he's going to say a few words. Chief?
Good evening, everyone. Chief Deputy Matt Jimenez. thank you for allowing us to be here to celebrate and recognize Corporal Perez for the Distinguished Service Award. And the event that transpired that day is obviously something that is very near and dear to our hearts as law enforcement officers, as we've seen over the years the tragedies that have happened to many officers throughout the nation, and the growing number of violent events towards law enforcement seems to be increasing. A little bit about Ruben and myself. We go way back. Ruben has 28 years on. I started about a year after him. Our paths have crossed many times over the last 27 years. We were both deputy sheriffs at the Indio station, and we ended up in court services together. And now I'm in a position to where I command several stations, and one of which Ruben was assigned at on that day that horrific event happened. A little bit about Ruben. He's a very quiet, humble man. He goes about his business. The opportunities I've had to supervise him, he's one of those employees that he's always showing up to work. He does what you tell him to do. He doesn't complain, and he always volunteers to hold over. So he has a heart of gold when it comes to what he does for a living. He truly enjoys work. He works a lot of overtime, and even though in his current assignment in court services, this man, even after this event, is still going out in the streets, placing his life on the line to serve the public. And that speaks a lot to his character. And even though he's of age to retire, this man is still out there, still doing a job after this horrific event. And again, that just speaks to your courage and your will. And I, again, thank you folks for allowing us to happen here. Unfortunately, with COVID, it's a little awkward, but nonetheless, well-deserving, Ruben, and we appreciate your work. Thank you.
Thank you, Chief Deputy Jimenez. Appreciate that. And now it is my distinct pleasure to introduce to you one of the people who is instrumental in making this evening happen, not just tonight, but every night. I've gotten to know Raju and Jayshree over the years, and I will tell you this, they do this out of sincere thankfulness. They are true assets to this community, and they understand what it means to be a part of a community. And this is just one of the many ways that these two very generous individuals give back to our community, and not just here in Palm Desert, but throughout the desert. Their presence is felt. So if you would please welcome back to the microphone, Jayshree Mehta.
Good evening, and I'd like to say thank you, even in such dire times, that you have taken the time to spend it with us this evening, and you could have been spending it doing something else. So thank you so much. Today, thank you very much for attending the Rick Espinoza Award here in Tahoe. I would like to thank Lieutenant Martello in facilitating with the Sheriff's Department and Palm Desert. I would like to thank Portia for the digital portion with your team. I'd like to thank Stephanie. I would like to thank Isning. And last but not least, the staff of Paseo Jewelers, who have tirelessly worked behind the scenes to make this happen in a safe environment and to try and get all of you together tonight. And couldn't have done it without them. So thank you so much. This year, I'm going to talk about the important community outreach that our police department does. For us personally, it started with Rick. After the robbery in 2006, he and other police officers came in continually to check in on us. They listened to us when we had concerns about suspicious vehicles or other concerns. They listened to us. They trusted us. and we trusted them. And we know how valuable and rare that is. As most of you know, I usually tell a story. Stories of my experiences or my family's experiences with law enforcement. But this year, however, I'm going to talk about trust. Trust is at the cornerstone of every thriving relationship. It is not something that is taken lightly or should be given easily. True trust forms slowly over time, patiently, continually adapting to the needs of each other. The community outreach that the Palm Desert Police Department and the Riverside Sheriff's Department does this every single day. They listen to us. They're patient with us. There is care in their actions. It is because of these intangibles that we trust them and why our relationship is so strong. This award is so important to Raju and I, as we grew up in countries where police officers often weren't trusted. When seeing a police officer didn't equal to security, safety, or relief. Those feelings of security and safety didn't exist at all. This award is a small token of our appreciation for giving us the safety and security that we didn't have as children. So we can thrive and not constantly look over our shoulder. We know having a symbiotic relationship with law enforcement is a luxury, whether it is here or abroad. And we are grateful for the exemplary work and countless hours that the Palm Desert Police Department and Riverside Sheriff's Department and their families, please let us not forget the support that they have to put in to make this community a safe place for us to be in. Thank you.
Thank you, Jayshree, and I think you can tell just how much this means to her and her family to be presenting this award tonight. And each of the honorees, their service is heartfelt by this community and the folks, the very few folks in this room and the many folks that are watching on our live stream. Right now, I want to introduce to you a couple of gentlemen who can go into a bit of further detail about our honoree this evening, Corporal Ruben Perez. I would like to bring to the microphone Captain Angeletto and also Lieutenant Martello of the Palm Desert Police Department, if you guys would step on up and join us here.
Hi, good evening. That's tough to follow. Thank you for the kind words. We really appreciate the community support. On behalf of the Palm Desert, the men and women at the Palm Desert Sheriff Station and the Police Department, I'd like to thank Paseo Jewelers for hosting what an amazing award. Thank you. I was working the day and we heard the radio traffic when Ruben was attacked. We'll never forget that. Ruben, thank you for your courageous performance that day in protecting the men and women and the families of our community. Thank you.
Yeah, we were both working that day, and there's nothing worse that an officer can hear when some of the radio comes over when one of your people that you know care about is involved with an incident like he was involved with that day. It strikes you to the heart. Ruben was in a situation where he was fighting for his life, and he was attacked unexpectedly, and he survived it. And he did a great job by defending his own life and the people around him. those emotions you can't really express, but sometimes just experiencing that will change you as an individual. And as the time goes by, as you get older and longer in the fang of this job, you tend to be a little more sentimental about the things that happen with not just you personally, but the people around you. The day I went to the hospital, I saw Ruben. There's nothing better to see the relief, or feel the relief that I have when I saw Ruben's face and he was looking back at me. I've known Ruben for a long time, and when you get that close to losing somebody, or the potential of losing somebody, it tends to strike you in the heart. So this job, it's a difficult job, and our deputies out in the street every day deal with a lot of different situations that they have to deal with and think quickly on their feet. And fortunately for this one particular incident, Ruben was able to go home to his family, and very grateful for that. Thank you very much.
Well, now it is time to actually present Corporal Perez with his award. And so I'm going to invite Raju and Jayshree up here to do so. To give you some insight, Corporal Perez was responding to a brawl that was taking place, and one of the individuals broke away and ambushed Corporal Perez and had a screwdriver and stabbed him several times in the head and neck, and he suffered very severe puncture wounds. So it is remarkable that did he recover? He's back on the job, and so that's why we feel he is so deserving of this award tonight. Is not just for his the traumatic experience he went through, but for your dedication in returning to service to your community. So, Raju. Squeeze it over this way. There you go.
Squeeze it this way. It's a Raju. Rick. Yeah, just. Explain that live stream. So
what we have done.
Yeah.
So we have given Corporal Perez a plaque and a diamond ring to honor him, which bear the award name, and it's in gold and diamond. So hopefully he'll enjoy for a long time. But one thing about these awards, yeah, he is getting award, or Rick Espinoza got award, but think about people who supported, their wives and family. So on this occasion, I would like to see Martha Espinoza here, please, and Melia Perez. Can I? Yeah. Yeah.
All your wives, friends, partners, we don't live alone. We always have support. And it's today, yes, Corporal Rupert Ruben Perez is a hero, but all of law enforcement is a hero as well for all the work they do. But without the support of their families, this job would be very, very difficult. And I'd like to honor them as well. So, Martha, thank you for all your support in having Rick in our community. Malia Morel. Thank you. Get this right. Thank you very much for your support, Ruben, so he can be as exemplary as he is here. Without you, I'm sure that would not through. So thank you so much.
I'd like to thank Jay Shree and Raju for this award. I'd like to thank the Sheriff's Department. When this incident happened, I had the whole support of the Sheriff's Department who met me at the hospital, and it was a wonderful thing. But the reason I was able to respond the way I did was because of the training that the Sheriff's Department goes through. And obviously, as you've seen before, that a lot of law enforcement, we're under a lot of pressure from today's society because of the things that we're getting feedback on. However, we don't stop training, we don't stop doing the things that we're supposed to do, and we take care of the community regardless of any response that we get back, because that's the oath that we took to this department. And because of that training, and because of the family that I have that met me at the hospital after the incident, it was a great response, and I'm very grateful and dedicated to all the persons and my family, my sheriff's family, who came and responded to me immediately after the incident. And I couldn't be more thankful, including the undersheriff, the chief, and the captain that were there immediately after the incident. So thank you so much for your response, and thank you for what you did to my family and for my wife, because as you know, what happens to me, it's scary for your wife and your loved ones as well when they don't know what's happening out there. So thank you for taking care of her and doing the things that she did. Thank you, Raju. Thank you, Sheree. Thank you.
Once again, let's give another round of applause to our honoree, Corporal Perez, if we could. And keep that going for our hosts and sponsors this evening, as well as Raju and Jayshree and our sponsors. We thank you all for joining us via live stream, and for those few of you that could join us in person. And of course, we certainly hope that next year we'll be able to do the Espinoza Awards in the style to which we've become accustomed, because it's always nice to get a little dinner as well. Thank you all very much. It was an important evening to honor Corporal Perez, and we appreciate your participation virtually. And of course, this link will be available to you as well. Thank you all. And Raju, Jayshree.
I would like to show my pleasure to see all of you guys here, and you guys who are on live stream with us. I really appreciate you. I would like to pay my gratitude to you guys. So please be safe, and we'll see you soon in store or somewhere. Thank you.
Thank you very much, and we will adjourn. But and we hope that Sheriff Bianco is getting a speedy recovery and doing well, because it is hard times. Thank you.
Thank you all very much.